Welcome into our second season of Bills Pod Squad. We are so pumped to be back for year two. We're going to have a lot more amazing guests, wonderful stories, and a lot of great conversation. Plus, you're going to get a unique perspective from Bills owner and president Kim Pegula herself. Kim, they brought us back.
I know, I can't believe it. Look at this beautiful setting that we have. I am so excited. I cannot believe we're back. I can't believe it's been a year. And here we are again, beginning of another season.
I know, it's so exciting. I'm Maddie Glab, and today we are going to have a pretty special guest on. He's a pretty famous Buffalo Bill at this point, and NFL player in general. His name is Josh Allen. But before we get to that interview, we kind of just want to catch up. It's been a long time since you guys have heard from us. So first and foremost, Kim, what have you been up to lately?
You know, just kind of sitting by the pool, working on my tan, not much, but
it
has
relaxing,
It has certainly been busy. Got this little side project going on called, trying to get a new stadium built, right?
Big deal.
Something like that going on, just a lot of, as we know, football is, 365 days a year. So even though our last season ended, there's still a lot of work to be had to get to where we are right now at the beginning of this season. So keeping busy as always. Fortunately, I was able to get to see my daughter play a little tennis, a little mixed doubles. Probably
right
the
now.
First time I've seen her in over 3 years actually play live. So I got to see her play some mixed doubles at the U.S. Open. I got a W. So, I'm hoping she's playing today. I want to know. I am 1-0 when I'm there in person. So I was very excited about that. So now I said to her, listen, I've got to go. I got to get back to work. So you got to prove that you can win without me, right? So all kids want to prove to their parents that they don't need them anymore. So I said, that's what you got to do. You got to win today and prove that you don't need mom anymore to win your games.
You are usually someone who, when you watch Jessie, I know you like to watch the game after it's already completed, the match, because she has won or lost, hopefully more wins than losses. But how was watching it in real time?
When she got ace on the very first point, I was like, oh no. I was like, my temperature starts going up. But no, it was enjoyable. It really was. It wasn't as daunting as I imagined it in my head to watch live. And it was such a beautiful, we were outside, it's New York City, the U.S. Open, haven't seen her play in so long. It was a lot of fun. So I made it through.
Amazing. And I know you had mentioned new stadium talks. We're going to get to that in the closing segment of this podcast, so make sure you stick around to hear about that from Kim. This season is a very special season in many ways. We welcome a full stadium back to Highmark Stadium. I'm so excited to see our fans. I know we got a little taste of them in the playoffs, and we're remembering why they are so vital to this place, to the team, what they'll be able to do hopefully on Sunday. So that in and of itself is a reason to be excited for 2021. But the group that Brandon and Sean have put together, this roster this year, the people that return, the newcomers that are on this roster, what this team did last year, what they want to do this year, it has the makings of something that could be really special and memorable. And I know we're not alone when we kind of think of what this season could be. So from your perspective, where are your thoughts at? Where's the excitement level as we get ready for week one?
Externally, because we're friends here, but externally, you always want to keep your expectations you want high expectations, you always do for yourself. You want to make sure your bar is high enough, but internally, just can't help but feel the excitement, the expectations, the hard work over the course of, it wasn't just one season from last year. I remind people all the time, this has been a process in the making, as Coach likes to say, trust the process. But it's been 4 years since Coach and Brandon Beam was hired. And so the evolution of how that has really laid this foundation, and then starting to see this success build on each other. And then this year, especially with the success that we had last year, but not quite getting there. And what does that mean? it's not like going from 0 to 100. Now we're trying to get to just a little bit more. But sometimes I think that's harder, right? Just that last extra, it's like that last extra 5 pounds you want to lose or something is always harder getting to that final next step. And so that's what I'm excited about seeing is how does this team deal with that? How does our coaching staff continue to develop players that have had success, in recent years? And what's that little special ingredient that just gets you over the edge, over that hump? So, and we talk about it all the time about sustainability.
Yeah.
How do we sustain a playoff contending championship caliber team for years? And that's where we want to be. And we're going to have a fight on our hands for game 1 against the Steelers because they do that so well. They've been around for a long time. Some great players, great coaching staff, 6 Super Bowls. Like, they are an organization that I think all of us would aspire to be someday.
Yeah, as the Bills are trying to build towards a team that has sustained success over several years, I mean, continuity is always a part of that conversation, and that's what this roster has, is continuity. One of those players that is involved in that is Josh Allen. He got a nice deal being extended for several years here in Buffalo. Truly gets to call this place home. We were all waiting, is it going to be this year? Is it going to be next year? Anytime Brandon or Sean or Josh were asked about it, Josh would say, this is where I want to be. We all know this is going to come together at some point. We're going to work on football for now, and surely it did come during the Bills training camp. So excited for Josh, but what were the inner workings of getting that done from an owner's perspective?
I did take a pay cut so that we would have the resources to build the team around Josh. So I just want to say I did make some sacrifices for that, but no, listen, everyone knows that a franchise quarterback is the cornerstone for any successful club, and sustainability being one of our priorities, that we need that long-term commitment from a franchise quarterback like Josh Allen. He certainly proved it last year. I mean, he's proved it every year since he's been a rookie, but certainly last year he really proved that he belonged as a franchise quarterback. So I was very happy to get it done. It's kind of before the season started, as we've seen play out in many clubs, that sometimes, these contracts, negotiation talks, I know coaches don't like it to be a distraction throughout the season. So getting it done, great kudos to our Brandon Bean and our staff, and getting it done before the season starts, so now we can just focus on football and what we need to do this season.
When you get a deal done like that, and when you draft a quarterback like Josh Allen, did you go back to that dinner that you guys had with him in Wyoming? Kind of go back to the beginning a little bit, think about some of those things, maybe some of the first interactions that you had with him when you guys maybe started to realize, okay, this is a guy that we want to have on our team, and this is a player that our scouting department believes in.
I think back to those days, and I remember thinking, just watching the different interview process, and even at the dinner like you talked about, I'm thinking, we are putting so much pressure. Like this kid that we're, quote, interviewing, who may or may not, we might be able to draft, but the expectations that we have as owners, as an organization, as a club, as a fan base, all on this kid here, right? Driving, a truck with he had a little dent in his side. He said happened with a McDonald's sign somewhere, right? Yeah. I was thinking, what are we doing? Like, how does this happen where you have the whole league, the whole club, the fan base, everything rests on the shoulders of this young kid who has yet to even prove himself? But that's what your expectations are for him as we went through that. And certainly, that those doubts are always there because we're all human. We're all rookies at some point. But I think I had confidence, I know, and Terry as well. We felt with our staff that we had, with Brandon, with his personnel staff, with coach as well, developing him as a player, just not only as a quarterback, but as a person, I think was very important. And we've seen the situation where he has had a great amount of support around him to be able to do and reach the potential that he has. And he still has a lot more potential to go. So I do think about those days. It seems like a long time ago.
Beginnings
yes,
of Josh
he's not a rookie
Allen.
anymore. I I wouldn't call him a vet yet, but you know, to see that all really come to life with those doubts that you had, you know, and I don't even want to say doubts. It's just, you know, the realities of a lot can happen in a football career, and especially at that quarterback position, and to see it kind of all come to fruition and have the success and just how well you fit into our Buffalo community and our fan base. You know, it's what every owner really wishes for.
Yeah, to see where he has come from getting 0 scholarship offers in high school to going to a community college to then to Wyoming to getting drafted by the Bills, and what he's done over the last 3 years and what we hope he will do over the
Concern
next
about
10
accuracy.
plus years here. His accuracy, his single season records that he has set an example for and accomplished in his 3rd year. Still a lot more to come for him, and so we are pumped to have him on the team for this season for what could be a wonderful year to be a part of the Buffalo Bills. So let's get to that interview with Josh Allen. Okay, Josh, thanks for coming to hang out with us for our first episode of our 2nd season. I heard Kim was able to pull some strings, you know, the new contract. She was like, Josh owes me one, so he has to come on the podcast. So I was like, check, this is going to be a great first episode of our 2nd season. So,
well, he is who everyone is talking about, right? So you got to go with what's hot, and Josh Allen is certainly
Josh is
hot
that
topic
dude.
these
And it was in
days.
fine print. I have to be in here every single week. It was weird.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know
way
that.
to go,
Put that in the
Kim.
contract, right? Like, yeah.
Has to be a regular guest on the podcast and has to bake cookies with me once a year.
There you go. Oh.
I love it. Let's start in the off season because we haven't had you on since last year. What was your off season like? What are some fun things you did? I know you got a new dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my puppy Sky. She's a silver
She's
lab.
beautiful.
She's so cute. I love her.
Where's the name come from?
Her eyes? They're blue.
Our sky blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the kind of the name. It was either that or Capri.
Okay. Do you have another nickname for your dog? Terry puts nicknames on our dogs.
Yeah, we call her Mamas.
Okay.
Where
I
did
call her
that come
Baby.
from?
I don't know. It just, she's so cute though. She's the sweetest little dog.
Potty trained?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, already?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
She's smart. She's about 6 months. She can sit, lie down. She can roll over. She can shake. She'll wait. I was playing hide and seek the other day with her
Okay.
in the house, so that's kind of cool. So I did that. My sister and brother got married in the off season, so that was
nice.
that was a big one
Double
for
wedding.
our family. Double weddings.
Your mom survived?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sister wedding. She had a lot to do with that
yeah.
one. Obviously, that's her baby, you know, and she spent a lot of time on that. Really, the last couple years because it got pushed back because of COVID a couple
Right.
times, and
That's how my daughter Jessie, she's getting married actually the end of October because it was supposed to be last year.
Bye
But
week,
now-
right?
Yes, five weeks left on that. So I know what your mom is going through, but that leaves you.
yeah.
That leaves
It
you.
does.
Oh, Kim's putting the pressure on you, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your
it's-
sister's too young though, so
Yeah.
all the attention is on you now, Josh.
know, I
Just
feel
not
it.
not
I
say.
feel it. No,
What type of person are you at a wedding? Are you someone who's like dancing, hits the dance floor right away? Are you like more like just chilling at the table?
I think it kind of differs on whose wedding it is.
Okay.
Like obviously my brother, I was the best man, so I kind of got to be the hype man and dance
Nice.
and try to get
Love
everybody
that.
going. My sisters, I was a part of the wedding party, so kind of this very similar vibe. I was on the dance floor, but if we're just
Not the
going
same.
to one of my buddies' weddings, I'm gonna chill out and kind of sit back. But yeah, my girlfriend loves to be on the dance floor, so I try to get out there as
Good.
much as I can. I'm not a very good dancer, don't have much movement, but it's a good time.
Hey, you got movement in the pocket. That's all
That's
that
right.
matters,
Yep.
Josh.
So, what besides the wedding, did you do much traveling at all? Besides, I know the weddings were in California, correct?
The weddings were
Yeah.
in California. One was in
Did you golf game,
Yeah, I
Okay.
golfed a little bit. We didn't really take too many trips.
Sense. Okay.
We went up north to Fresno a few times. We're living in Orange County, and I got a place there. It's on a golf course. So
Oh, no.
I
Okay,
did
there
play,
you
I
go.
did play quite a
Did
bit
your
of golf.
game improve?
Oh yeah, drastically.
Okay.
So I started taking lessons this off season with a guy by the name of Wade Wilson. He's at El Miguel Country Club, and he got me right. So I still got some stuff to work on. But I took a couple weeks off and went golfing the other day, and it was bad. There was blood everywhere. I'll tell you what, it made me not want to go out there anymore. But I get it. Once you take time off of golf, especially with that sport, like
Right.
you got to continue to golf to stay good at it.
Do you ever play tennis?
I don't.
You
But
don't.
So
I feel like your reach
Ooh,
would be
Jesse
really,
and
really
Josh
tough. You'd be
should
good at the
play.
volley
I
with
would
your
love
height
to.
there.
Like as a kid at swim meets and stuff,
Yeah.
my parents would bring rackets and we'd go out there and, we had tennis courts at our
Okay, I feel
little
like
swim
challenge
area,
coming
so
on. Wondering if like maybe you could even win 1 point off of Jesse, maybe?
I can.
That would be
I
fun.
think I could.
At 1 point. You could at least
Yeah,
one, you
I
think?
I think I can get one.
You can get one, okay.
I
All right,
think
like
the main
right-handed
thing
or
is
left
getting the
hand?
serve back.
Okay,
Right? That's probably
that's
gonna be
right.
the hardest part.
yeah.
But I'm building a house here.
Okay.
And hopefully doing a sport court with a tennis court on
Oh,
it. And,
nice.
Yeah, so
All
it's
right.
something I want to get involved in because I think
Okay.
footwork-wise and
Right.
rotation-wise, it kind of
Okay.
it marries up with football. a little
All
bit.
right, well, we'll have to hook you two up. So if you need any tips on how all that goes and how to keep score, and maybe, like you said, maybe you'll win a point off of her. I haven't been
I
able
doubt
to
it.
yet.
I doubt it, but I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'll
All
try.
right. We'll
She's
wait till
doing-
the
she's
off
doing so
season.
good,
Yeah.
by the way. That's
We'll wait
so
till the
awesome.
off season. Coach would kill me if I had you go
Exactly.
out and play during
Yeah,
the
no tennis
season.
elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kim was just at the U.S. Open.
I was. She was playing mixed doubles. So
Yeah, that was really cool.
maybe after your career in football is over,
Do they do
you
like
and
any,
Jess
like,
could do mixed
pro-am
doubles.
stuff? Like,
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm sure they do.
I like
They do.
it.
All right.
All right, we got to get to the extension talk.
Sorry.
Kim, I want you to lead this.
The extension talk.
Yeah.
I got to give all the credit to Josh here. You and Bean, I know, had a lot of one-on-one conversations that I think really helped the process along. Of course, you've got agents, and Bean is basically our agent for us. But I really think that having that respect, having that relationship with the GM and the player, I think goes a long ways. I don't know how you thought about the process,
yeah.
but I think it goes a long ways. We both wanted it to happen, and so happy that it was able to get it done beforehand. I was saying to Maddie earlier that, she asked me about, thoughts going back to your rookie year, about dinner and kind of coming out and you work out and all that. But the big thing that I remember when the extension got done, I thought back to was you bringing in fried chicken as a rookie, that he had to go and get the fried chicken for all the
Coach
plane
Cully.
trips. Yes, and we're playing Coach Cully this season. But just the thought of that guy having to go get fried chicken every game and bring it in for every coach. I don't even think Coach even ate a lot of it, although he could eat. That guy could
needed a
eat.
number 2
But
with the rice, and then you needed 2 apple pies, and he always gave one to Skip. Coach
okay,
Skip, so,
yeah, okay.
And it was, again, rookie duties, you got to do them.
I
but I'm
know.
like, Coach, come on. Like, the Popeyes line, like, this was, like, right when the chicken sandwich came out, too. So, like, the lines were so long.
I'm going to
and-
be late to practice.
Yeah.
No, there was legit times where, like, I was, like, the last person on the plane. Like, I'm sorry, I had to go
That's
get
what I'm
Coach
saying,
Cully's
and I would
Popeyes.
always be sitting near Coach Cully because I had the cookies, and Coach also liked cookies, and so I would always see Josh coming in late,
apple pies,
like
Josh?
late, yeah. yeah. So,
got
but
2 of them,
just
Coach Hawk.
but just thinking back to that time when you're a rookie, having to do the work, not just even doing rookie work like that, and how far you've come in the last several years. I'm sure it has been tremendous rewarding. I know you had belief in yourself, but to be able to actually show the rest of the world in like not just Bills fans, but even all of the NFL that you belonged, it must be such a satisfying feeling.
Yeah, it is, and you alluded to the point of, having that relationship with Bean, and I don't know if that's how typical relationships are between the coach or the quarterback and the GM and the quarterback and the coach, but it's really cool,
Yeah.
the type of relationships that we have here, and I think it's a credit to you and Terry, just the people that you bring into this building that are just down to earth. They're real people. They care about the players here, and at the end of the day, they're guys that just love football, and that's something
They want to
they
win,
just wanna win.
and they want to
wanna win.
win. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you're a competitive guy.
The
We know Brandon
competition
is
of that
Brandon
scouting
is-
department.
Got a
Oh
lot
my
of competitive
gosh.
people
Yeah.
around you that just feed off of each other. So that's it's great to have that done, and now just focusing on football, and that's all that matters. And week 1.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think one of the coolest things was what Brandon Bean said, a deal like this doesn't get done without your willingness to get a deal done. So I think that just speaks to that relationship that you talked about. But what was the celebration like that night? What did you eat? Did you go anywhere? Who was the
Well-
first phone call?
Well, I got the call from my agent at 3:00 in the morning, and I literally because I knew that they were
It's
talking.
time to wake
and,
up.
There was times throughout the whole process. It was like I we don't know if this is going to get done before the season, and if it didn't get done before the season, it's going to have to wait. And so I know my agent, I was like, you know what, like, call them, figure it out, like, let's see what we can do. And they're like, all right, well, it might take a few days. And all of a sudden, they started talking, they started going. And he's like, all right, we'll keep you updated. And I get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, hey, it's done, you're going to sign it tomorrow. So, you know, it was pretty cool. And then I went up to Bean that morning. It hadn't been announced or released yet. And I was actually playing Catan with some of the boys in one of the tight end rooms. And Dawson goes, oh my God, Josh, congrats. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm like, oh, it already broke? I haven't even signed it yet. So, and my girlfriend was mad at me because I didn't tell her yet.
Oh,
and
no.
this and that. Well, they just posted it. I don't know what to tell you. So, but it was all good. It was all good. And I just got to hang out with some of my friends. We went to Hutch's, which is a restaurant up north. It's one of the best in Buffalo, in my opinion. But went up there, had some steak frites, celebrated a little bit, and you know, it wears off after a second. Like, it feels surreal, but at the same time, like, it's still football. It's still the same game. I'm still the same person. We got to go win football games now.
Yeah. Except your O-line might be kind of expecting a little bit more this Christmas.
Yep. Yeah, just a little
So
bit.
you might have to think a little bit longer about what you're going to get as a Christmas present. Their expectations are going to be a little bit higher, I think.
Yeah. I've talked to a few of them, just like, hey, just help me out. Keep an eye out of something that you guys might want, because I don't. It's tough to shop for 10 alignment. They all have different likes and interests, and
then every year you feel like you got to top it, you know.
Exactly.
You get more and more.
Incrementally increased every year, and you know, I can't say that I'm on that rookie contract anymore. And
That's
you know,
right. That's right.
They're
give them their
expecting
regular
big
gifts.
things.
Yeah.
And I know with, you know, an extension and the success that you've had so far and hopefully will have over the next several seasons here, with that comes the national attention. And some of the cool parts is some of the national deals that you now get. And I hear you're part of a new wing deal. Would you like to clear the air? Because I think some Buffalonians are a little bit butthurt.
Yeah, I got the brunt of it. I'm not gonna lie, on my Instagram, and I think people fail to realize not everybody gets to grow up with barbell and anchor bar.
I am
and
right
duffs
there with
in their
you.
backyard.
I'm from Chicago, so
Right.
I get it.
So again, like, as a kid, Buffalo Wild Wings to me was like, this place is so cool. There's TVs everywhere. Like, I love sports. So, like, to be there in that type of environment, and again, wings, and you know, I'm a huge wing person. I've always been a wing person growing up. So when there was one that popped up in Fresno, I was like, we're going there. Like, that's going to be our spot. And we'd go there, you know, every chance we could. It was right across Staples Center, which is where the Fresno State played their basketball games. And so we'd go there to basketball games and concerts, and then we'd go straight to Buffalo Wild Wings. And like, that was just a cool spot for me. Like, I grew up loving wings, watching sports, and I get, you know, again, Buffalo, we take our wings very seriously. But to me, it was a really cool deal because, one, my family, my friends, like, that's something we grew up doing, and you know, I'm proud of it. I know Buffalo people might still be a little mad at it, but it's okay. I'll take it with that.
Well, here's something you can say to them. I did a little research on Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was originally called Buffalo Wild Wings and Weck.
Oh, really?
Beef on Weck. It's a Buffalo
Okay.
thing. So the owners used to live in Buffalo.
Okay.
They moved to Ohio.
Cleveland, right?
They
Yep.
wanted to get some wings one day, some Buffalo-style chicken wings, couldn't find any, so they opened Buffalo Wild Wings. So it's an ode to Buffalo.
Yeah.
So
Should be
people
a
don't have to
compliment.
be
It's a
as
compliment.
mad.
Yes,
They used
yes.
to
I
serve
like that.
beef on Weck too.
Plus, the guy's got to earn a living, you know, so, you know, you can't
Exactly.
So, well, you know, you're back this year, training camp. We got fans coming back this year, new contract. How does this camp, how does the beginning of this season, does it feel any different than previous years?
Not really.
No?
Not really. I think the only difference, I just feel so comfortable in our offense. You know, my role with this team, and my relationships with the coaches and the players. Like, you know, as a rookie, you're coming in, there's bullets flying, and you're just kind of shell-shocked. You're like, what is going on? But right now, like, just I'm at peace with what I am and who I am with this team, and you know, what I plan on doing this season. And I'm super excited to get the season started because we've got such tremendous talent on this team. But above that, we've got great people in the organization, on the field and off the field. So it's going to be a fun one. But again, we got to go out there and execute. And I think that we've been busting our tails all training camp for, you know, game one against the Steelers.
Well, I know that you are known for really making those connections with your receivers and other people on your offense. Did you get to spend much time with them in this off season and work with them a little bit? As
Yeah,
now that you know them more.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a few days with Gabe Davis. I think Isaiah Hodgins was down in California. With travel restrictions and
Yeah,
COVID still kind of
it
going
wasn't.
crazy, it hasn't been the same. And we're trying to get back to that spot. But again, when we're here in OTAs, I mean, we spend so much time with each other. So that was good that we got back in, because there were some teams that weren't going to
Yep.
OTAs. There were some that were. And I'm glad that guys rallied and got here right before mandatory minicamp, because those reps matter. But above all that camaraderie of hanging out outside the facility, it matters, and I think it pays dividends on the field. So to have that time, it was, you can't get it back.
Yeah.
And there were some teams that aren't going to get it back, that didn't do it. So I'm thankful for the guys that we got here, because they care about football, they care about our teammates, and they care about this team.
Yeah. I know the coach and Brandon, we always, and us as well, talk about continuity and the foundation. If you look at some of the great sustainable playoff teams, Super Bowl contending teams over the last several decades, it's teams like a New England, like a Steelers, like Green Bay, that have that continuity, that have that core. Certainly, I do think that's a big part of success for a club, and being able to have that, being able to have you back, being able to have our receivers back, and I think we majority of our team back again after a difficult season last year without any fans and in COVID. I think that just really plays well with what we're trying to build here in Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know that.
Yeah.
I want to build off the continuity and the familiarity that you guys just mentioned. So you're pretty familiar with your surroundings now here. It's the fourth season with Brian Daboll. So if you could complete the sentence, you're in your fourth year with the same OC when?
When you know what bugs him. He's got he's very sensitive with his ears. So I go and I do like this weird noise between my thumb and my finger, and I get him as many times as I can. I try to push his buttons, because he's like a big brother to me. He's so awesome. Our relationship is unbelievable, and I would say it's the best quarterback OC relationship in the league. We get each other. He's very competitive, but above that, he's open to new ideas from receivers and tight ends, and me. When I bring something up, let's try it. Let's put it in practice. Let's put it up. And he's always going the extra mile to find a new concept, or talk to a coach that had this in mind, or talking to old coaches that had success for a long time, and how do you deal with that. So he's my favorite coach of all time. He's the man.
You want to go with the second
All right,
one?
all right. So same question. You're in your second year with Stephon Diggs. When?
Diggy.
You're getting fashion advice from him? That's good.
Oh,
It's
I
a
mean,
good
I guess so.
option.
I think
When
honestly,
you start dressing like him.
yeah, I'd say that. I think my attire that I've bought has been slightly influenced by what he wears.
Okay.
So yeah, you're in your second season with Stephon Diggs, when your style starts to get better.
Okay, all right. I did see, I was in New York City, and I was in a store, and I was actually with my future son-in-law, and he was looking for some wedding shoes, and I saw these pair of shoes, and I was like, and I thought of Diggs right away. They were blue velvet slippers, and yeah, I was like,
He's
this
got good
is something,
style.
I
You
know, I
gotta
was
give
like,
it to
this
him.
is something that I could definitely see him wearing,
He's
so
got a
that's
style
good.
about him. We'll do one more. You've been in Buffalo for almost 4 years now. When?
When all you constantly crave is wings.
I love
That's
it. Another fun question. You are a big Office fan.
Mm-hmm.
Could you relate the quarterback group to an episode of The Office and explain why?
To one episode?
Maybe or a scene.
It's the chaotic CPR scene. I try to keep our room as light and as fun as possible in our meetings. So that meeting, Dorsey's trying to be serious. I'm Dwight Schrute cutting off the face and doing just outlandish stuff, and the other guys are trying to pay attention, but I'm pulling their attention away sometimes, and I think it'd be that one scene.
Do you have a superstition? Do you have
Oh,
something?
yeah.
Oh, you got a lot. You got a lot
Yeah.
of them.
So
and so, do you get you've always had, or as each season progresses, have you kind of picked up on more?
A little bit of both, but I've always had a couple. To quote Michael Scott from The Office, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious.
But you're really superstitious.
Yeah, I'm superstitious. Yeah. All my TVs or radios have to be even numbered, like the volume.
Okay.
My right sock has to go on my right foot. My left sock has to go on my left foot. I have to listen to the same 7 songs before every game. It's Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Elvis. Let's see. I throw up before every game, and that's basically like I'm not nervous or anything like that. I did it one time.
It's
and
just a
I've
reflex.
done it ever since. Yeah.
All right, so get worried if you don't throw up. Is when we
Exactly.
should start worrying.
But
okay.
no, I'm gonna throw up.
All
I
right.
guess. I find a way.
Favorite Elvis song? Tara's a huge Elvis fan.
Can't help but fall in love with you. It's like my favorite one.
Right. Okay. I could see that, like jumping on a table with that song playing in the background.
fun,
Yeah.
yeah.
No. So I assume just a calming influence, get you kind of in the
whole
zone.
Thing for it. Like when I get amped up, I get so like anxious and aggressive, and like I come out there and I just can't throw the ball right. So I literally have to try to calm myself down as much as possible because I'm so happy I get to play football.
Right.
You know,
Well,
so-
good. Well, this year you're probably going to be having to listen to it a lot because, as Maddie has said, a lot of expectations, high expectations for not just you, but also for our team this year. What has Coach been preaching this year? We got to trust the process, playoff caliber,
Find a way.
what's
111th.
find a way, 111th.
Dable's got one. It's be the hunter, don't be the hunted.
That's it? Okay.
Do you have a favorite out of any of those?
I mean, Coach talks about 111th all the time, doing your job, and just everybody, if you do your 111th, you're going to have success as a team. Don't try to worry about what anybody else is doing. That's a good one. Playoff caliber, just the standard that we try to uphold ourselves to each and every day here. Let's see. So Dable's got the 7 musts on offense, but there's really like 10 of them. Like one of the 7 musts is
Sounds like
smart
Dable.
and tough.
Okay.
So I always give him stuff for that. He puts them up on the board, and I go,
Math wasn't his major.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But he gets the point
Yeah.
across to us.
So, if I know you're just starting your career, but coaching at all, do you think at some point in your life after retirement, or
When
is
you're
there something else you
75
want?
and
The
your
race car
NFL
driver,
career's
maybe? I
over.
know you're a big F1 fan.
Big F1 fan
yeah.
now. I don't know. I've thought about coaching, and the want to do it. It's there, but me actually doing it, I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot of time
Yeah.
away, and I'm gonna play as long as I can, and we'll figure it out from there. But I do have some buddies that I went to college with that are now, one of my best buddies, Adam Pillipilli, he's at Montana State. He's a D-line coach there. He is such a brilliant mind, and I think he's going to be a head coach someday. So if he were to call me up one day and be like, "Hey, I need you to be our quarterback coach," I'd be like, "All right, I'll see what I can do."
All right.
Tell him, I'll give you a couple years of my life.
All right, it'd be probably pay a lot less though than being a quarterback.
Yeah, I can see that. But as long as I don't have to recruit, I think I'll be fine.
Oh my gosh,
Recruiting
I
is a
would
different
never
story.
want
Right.
that
Do it.
job.
Well, I don't know if you watched the Thursday night game, but Tom Brady does not look like he has lost much of a step. So hopefully you will be even older than him and still paying for the Buffalo Bills.
And look as young as he does still at his age.
Just don't know if I can go vegan though. I don't know.
Now with wings
Yeah. One more question for you, Josh, before we wrap up. This is an exciting season for this team, for the coaching staff, for everyone inside of that building who works to either put the game on TV or, the people who work outside of the stadium, making sure everybody gets checked in, you name it. This is a big season for everyone, and there's a lot of excitement going into this season. So just you personally, I mean, what does this year mean to you as you're in your 4th season here with the Bills?
Well, I mean, I think every season, presents its different challenges. But again, the goal remains the same. It's our goal to win the world, the world championship, and that's the Super Bowl. And every year, if you don't have that mindset, I think you've already lost it. So it's to go out, and again, the only way to do what you want to do is to win the Super Bowl is you got to get into the playoffs.
Yep.
And to get into the playoffs, you got to win probably 10 or 11 games. And to win 10 or 11 games, you got to win the first one. So That's the main goal.
You'll make a
Pittsburgh
great coach
Steelers.
someday.
Yeah.
He's already
I
got
got
the
the good talking
down
points.
pat.
I've been, run through the ringer my entire life. My dad, as a kid, when I was 6 or 7 years old, we'd be driving to school and he'd be talking like I just won the game post game, and he'd be interviewing me. So I got a lot of my
You're professional.
BSing skills from my dad.
One last thing, you still owe Kim a trip to the driving range. Remember on the last episode?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
said you'd take Kim to the driving range, so
gotta
still
do
got to
that.
do that at
Yeah, we
some
do.
point.
I will guarantee you can hit it farther than I can. So.
Yeah.
So yeah. I have
He's a
not picked up a
quarterback.
golf at all ever in my whole life. It takes too long. It takes too long. I don't get an off season. It takes too long.
I get
So
that.
so but just to be able to be sitting there playing golf with you, yeah, I think we need to get that going
Okay.
one of these
You got it.
days. All right, before the snow starts.
That's right.
yeah.
What a beautiful day. Well, thank you, Josh. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the great work you've done off the field. I know that our community is so appreciative of all the things that you do for our fans, how much you engage even on social. I know you're active, very active on social as well. So I think it just really, when you signed that extension, it just really made everyone sigh of relief that you were the right guy for Buffalo, and happy to have you on the team for a long time. So.
Yeah, well, same here. Glad to be here. And thank you guys for having me on the
Thanks,
pod.
Josh.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate
Good
it.
luck this season.
Go Bills.
What a great interview with Josh Allen. I know he said in the first segment that we wanted to talk about the new stadium, so let's get that talk going. We heard from Ron Rakuya, the EVP over at Pagula Sports and Entertainment, and in his interview that he did, he said, it's no lie, we need a new stadium. This is going to have to be an economical project that works in today's world for everyone. We're thinking around 60 to 62,000 within that window, and we feel that there's an urgency in these talks to get a new stadium plan in process. So what can you tell us about these plans that are being talked about currently?
I know. We have done the work. Listen, I think that when we started this whole process several years ago, over 4 years ago, we didn't really talk a lot about it because we knew it was going to be such a topic of discussion. But we have been doing the work behind the scenes, whether it's been our own studies that we've done, market research. We just engage with legends to help with any ticket sales and putting the process together. And so we feel very prepared to go to the state and have healthy discussions around what a new stadium in Buffalo looks like. It has certainly changed. The landscape has changed in football, in stadiums, in fan engagement since we just bought the team, 8.5 years ago. So he's right. We need a stadium. We need a new stadium that fits Buffalo. And I think my husband has said that many times. Like, we are not looking for the Taj Mahal of stadiums.
Oh, you don't
we
think that
understand.
would work here, Kim?
Yeah, no, I would get lost. I have a hard time finding my way around this place. But we want something that really represents who we are as an organization and as a club and as a team. And I think that we all feed off of each other on that standpoint. And so a stadium that he's talking about, 62,000, something that is fan friendly but up to date, that keeps us being a Super Bowl contender. And at the end of the day, that's also what we want. So we are doing the work. We're having great discussions. Governor Hochul has been really engaging. We know that it's a priority for her, and County Executive Mark Poloncarz has also been a big help in furthering these discussions. As you know, it will be one of the, if not the biggest thing to happen in Western New York for the last probably 50 years, and probably for the next 50 years going forward. So certainly it is not as easy as just, hey, we just need to sit down and talk. There's a lot to go into it, but we feel very prepared. We feel very confident. We know how much this means, and all our politicians, our representatives, our fan base, I think even the whole country. I get text messages from so many people. They understand what the Buffalo Bills means to this community. So everyone is cheering for us to get something done.
And I know we had a conversation during a training camp practice kind of about the new stadium talks, and I thought the perspective that you brought to the point that you were making was just so unique and cool, and something that we haven't heard before publicly in talking about the new stadium. It was the fact that this is such a big project for the team, for this community, for Buffalo, but for someone like yourself, you explain it as like your Super Bowl moment right now in your career.
Yes, no, it certainly is. is something that I know I won't be a part of something this big in for the rest of my life, really. And the fact that I get to be a part of it, get to be in the talks day to day, get to help plan for it, get to be a part of giving this back to the community. It's exciting. You don't go around building stadiums every year. And this is, like I said, I can't, as you said it, I can't kind of, catch that winning touchdown there from Josh Allen. But this, for me and for my husband, our family, yeah, certainly this would be our Super Bowl on the business side, to be able to get this done and get our fans and our team and our club, make sure that we are here for a long time.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and I know you are going to keep us updated as the process goes. When you have official word on things, we know that we will get that, whether it's on our website or whether it's on Twitter.
Yes,
so we're looking forward to those
certainly
updates.
Certainly will.
So we also have some fan questions in this week's episode. We're going to start off.
And they're not about the stadium?
Well,
No?
we had like maybe 50 about the stadium,
So
but
we
I already
just
knew
condensed
we were gonna talk about that, and they were getting into the specifics. We don't have those yet, so I didn't want to blow you up with those questions.
All right.
So we'll start with some happy questions.
good.
And I know one thing that brings you happiness is sweets. I mean, it brings a lot of us happiness. So Marissa wants to know what your game day menu is looking like for cookies this year. And if you're just tuning in, if this is the first time you're listening and watching, Kim is a wonderful baker. Her cookies are incredible. If you have one, you'll know why.
Yes, they're therapeutic
Yes.
for me, though. I do it as much as I like to give them away, and I love to eat them, but I do it for therapy. So it's as anxious as I get before a game, it allows me to unwind. It allows me to smell home-baked cookies and make me feel happy and a little bit calmer. Now, again, once, 2 minutes in, I'm still nervous as a wreck, but it tidies up my morning routine and helps me really just kind of focus and feel good and excited and happy. So it's very therapeutic.
So what's on the docket this week?
It is hard because this year we have 17 games. And so I don't always, but I do do it also on the away games when I'm traveling with the team. So it's a lot of variety of cookies. But I'm going to have to say...
And also, who has the time as an owner and a president to just bake some cookies? But I know you're up at the wee hours.
I am up at the wee hours. But I've got to say, it's the home opener.
Got to go big.
You got to go big, but you got to go traditional too. So I'm going to say classic chocolate chip cookies.
Wow.
It's the most fan favorite. I mean, I do know one person who doesn't like chocolate chip cookies, but that's one out of tens of thousands. So I'm going to have to say, I have to start out the season with chocolate chip cookies because it's the home opener. It's the beginning of the season. It's going to be a long season. Got to go with the classic. One thing that everybody loves, so that's what I'm going to start out with.
Well, if there's one player that loves chocolate chip cookies on this
Trey,
roster,
yes.
it is Tre'Davious White. So he will probably be calling you, maybe pregame while he's on the field, saying, "Miss Pagula, can you give me some of those cookies, Miss Pagula?"
Happy to do it. Anything for the team.
Anthony wants to know, when you and Terry were new to NFL ownership, so let's go all the way back, were there any styles or tendencies of other owners that you maybe tried to emulate?
Well, I will say I did not know any other owners at the time personally, or I just knew them kind of like everyone else did as a fan on TV. But I would say, I think, I saw an episode on TV, on ESPN and one of those, NFL behind the scenes on Eddie DeBarlo, the 49ers. And I just remember watching that and, him, how, engaged he was with his whole staff and the players. And I know that was a while back, and maybe times have changed a little bit. And certainly COVID, where you have to be 6 feet apart, was not a part of that. But I remember watching that show and the emphasis that they had of how Eddie was, part of the family orientation of the whole organization, players and staff and owners and players, and how he embraced them all and how he was a part of their lives. I think really left a really big impression on me, thinking, okay, if I ever get to be an owner someday, I don't want to be just sitting up there in the booth and just looking down at what's going on. Like, I would love to have those types of relationships where you feel like a family in an organization across all the different departments, across team, coaches, staff. So I think probably that's one that really stuck out to me. I got to say the other one, obviously, Jerry Jones. I mean, how could you not, right? I think that guy could sell anything. And so for him, how he's grown the brand into something that I know he calls America's team, but how he grew that brand, you know, it didn't matter if you won or if you lost, but growing that brand to how big it is now, certainly, you know, that's another one that you got to say you've got to take respect and recognize.
Definitely. And from being a staff member, someone who works for the Bills, being my boss, boss, all the way up the chain, it feels like that. You're around the hallways, you're talking to people, you're having conversations with people who I may not directly report to you, but I get to see you in the hallways when you're in the building. And you do a podcast. I mean, what owner can say that they do that? That's something that's unique and so cool and brings a lot to our fans and our community. We have one more question. It's from Diggin Allen for 6. What are your thoughts on being,
I like the Twitter handles. They're awesome. They're so creative. I mean, our fans are so creative.
There's lots of Bills handles on Twitter. So we're going to say the S word. What are your thoughts on being Super Bowl contenders?
Super Bowl, that S word. Oh, I'm going to embrace it. I'm just going to own it because, listen, I would be lying if I said I didn't, you know, think about that far ahead. Everybody thinks that far ahead. Everybody thinks that far ahead. Ownership does not discriminate. We are all thinking that. So Super Bowl, what do I think about it? I think we have as good of chance, maybe better, I'm going to be a little biased, than any other team out there. Every season is a new season. So I know there's a little reality check that I got to do to myself every now and then, but why not the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
You know, we've got a great foundation, great coaching staff, we've got our QB, we've got a team surrounded by a lot of talent, and like you said, that off-field, you know, glue that keeps us all together. So let's go for it. That's what I say. We're there. We're there. I'm going to embrace it. I'm not going to be afraid of it.
Embrace it, but we know it's a week-to-week league. If I was Sean McDermott, put my coaching hat on right now, one game at a time, and that one game at a time right now, week 1 is against the Steelers. So what are you looking for in this game?
Well, I was hoping we wouldn't have TJ Watt there, maybe for game 1. I was like,
deal.
I know, at the last minute. Well, maybe he's a little
player.
rusty because he didn't really practice, you know, for the last few
factor.
weeks. But they are a tough team. It's going to be tight. We always play them tight. I feel like we've been playing them every year. I know it's been, this is year 3 in a row, but it's always been a tight game. As we said, they have been a perennial playoff team for a reason. So you don't get there by not being prepared. It doesn't matter what opponent it is. Doesn't matter if we were in the AFC Championship game. Every year is different. They're going to be well coached, well prepared. And you've got a veteran like Ben Roethlisberger, who I know many have compared Josh Allen to, especially in size. So that'll be a very good matchup. So it's going to be a fun game. I'm sure we're going to have some Steelers fans doing the quick drive up here to Buffalo, but
hopefully not
Bills
too many.
Mafia will be on full force. I know they will be. So it'll be interesting to see how much they can affect the game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. Josh Allen said it's the type of game where it's just punches back and forth as you go down the field because their defense has been a great defense for several years in a row. So the Bills are going to have a pass rush that they're going to have to work with. But I'm confident that Josh Allen's going to be able to get the ball down the field.
I'm excited to see kind of maybe what Coach Daboll's got prepared. He's always such a creative offensive coordinator. If there's some new calls this year, some new designs we haven't seen before. So especially with the skill set that we have on our offense. So that'll be interesting to see what kind of comes out, if there's any new trick plays that he's got going on.
He's something up his sleeve.
He does. So it's always exciting to see that evolve. So I'm looking forward to that game.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Our first episode of Season 2. Happy Week 1, everybody. Make sure you stay tuned for another episode next week. And for more content, head to BuffaloBills.com. We'll see you guys soon.
All right. Go.